So as we all know, Battlefield 2042 is based in the near future, and so far we've seen a number of specialists with futuristic gadgets like the healing gun for Maria Falk or the wingsuit for Sundance, but apparently the game is going to launch with 10 specialists, each with their own unique gadget. We've also seen a number of vehicles, but as of yet, none of it really looks too out of the ordinary or futuristic. So in this video, I thought it might be fun to look at some real-life, near-futuristic military weapons, gadgets and vehicles that are currently being worked on today that we could possibly see in Battlefield 2042. So first off, we have adaptive camouflage being developed by BAE Systems. So this technology essentially renders thermal imaging systems obsolete. It's made up of a honeycomb-like structure that can be installed on any vehicle and heated or cooled as necessary to match the surrounding environment. So thermal imaging works by picking up the heat signature of a particular source like a vehicle and then highlighting it. And this active camo would essentially heat or cool the outside surface of the vehicle to then match the outside temperature, thereby making it invisible to thermal imaging systems. Basically, what the DICE LA camo does for you in Battlefield 4. If thermal imaging makes a return in Battlefield 2042 on the attack helis, for example, then this could definitely be a thing. Perhaps we're even going to see this Swedish tank named the T-Ghost that currently makes use of this technology. Next, we have a possible new hypersonic missile for the jets, the X-51A Waverider. So since the 1990s, the American Air Force has been involved in the design, development and testing of a hypersonic propulsion system with a view to creating a missile capable of Mach 6 or 4,000 miles per hour. It's still a work in progress, but the missile has shown plenty of promise during testing, reaching speeds of over 3,000 miles an hour. And the result is the Boeing X-51A Waverider, an unmanned aircraft designed to be launched from a B-52 bomber or an F-35 fighter. So we already know that F-35s are confirmed. I'm sure that if bombers are in the game, then the B-52 Stratofortress could certainly be among them, perhaps even equipped with this new missile. Moving on, we have the HULC, or the Human Universal Load Carrier, which is essentially an exoskeleton suit intended to support soldiers on the battlefield and allow them to transport heavy loads. Basically, kind of like the Juggernaut suit from Call of Duty. So here you can see a soldier using it to just casually transport a rather large bomb. Now, we've already seen a specialist that looks a lot like this in the reveal trailer, the dude who knifes somebody here called Espinoza, so I think that could definitely be the case. I don't think we'll be using it for real-world applications like transporting bombs from A to B though, more likely walking around with an unwieldy, oversized machine gun. Next, we have the Hololens for soldiers. So a while back, Microsoft won a contract to supply the US Army with HoloLens-like devices known as the Integrated Visual Augmentation System, or IVAS, in order to assist soldiers in combat like never before. This augmented reality system would do all sorts of things. It could make it so soldiers can see through smoke, they can also use it to see around corners without putting themselves in danger, and get information on the surrounding environment too. So we've already seen some evidence of this from the trailers. This soldier here has some sort of special visor on that most of the other soldiers do not. So who knows, perhaps this is a specialist perk of some sort. So this here is the Electro-Magnetic Railgun that uses electricity to generate magnetic fields as a propellant for the projectile rather than the more traditional chemical propellants that you find in most munitions. This thing is capable of firing projectiles at over 4,500 miles per hour and smashing through concrete structures 100 miles away. So for comparison's sake, sound travels at 768 miles an hour. The result is a longer range weapon with much greater accuracy, but apparently scientists are still working on a way to stop the weapon tearing itself apart upon firing. So if we do see naval warfare in Battlefield 2042, I could see this being on a cruiser or a destroyer of some sort, maybe even something you can call in as a soldier on the ground, similar to the artillery fire. Moving on, we have the Origin 12 shotgun. Now, almost all of you guys will recognize this thing from Call of Duty Warzone or Modern Warfare. and it's a fairly new shotgun, and it's touted as the world's fastest firing shotgun. It has this massive drum magazine that you can get for it, and with it you can fire 30 rounds in under 8 seconds. And then you can also go and equip it with this monster suppressor. I'm pretty sure we will see this thing in 2042, possibly as a replacement for the Saiga 12. Alright, moving on, we have this thing. I know what you're thinking, Ghost. Is it a little bird with the windows painted grey? Well, sort of actually, yeah. So this is the MQ-8C Fire Scout, an unmanned aerial vehicle designed to provide reconnaissance, aerial fire support, and targeting for ground troops. It's basically a remote control helicopter, and whilst in these pictures it doesn't exactly have the same armaments as a Little Bird, I'm pretty sure they could equip it as such. Now, whether this would be a good thing for Battlefield, I'm not so sure. If there's something more annoying than being killed by a Little Bird, it's being killed by a remote control Little Bird where you can't even snipe the guy out or blow him up. So, I guess we'll see if we get something similar in the game or not. In the same vein, there's also an unmanned tank called the Black Knight, and this kind of reminded me of the Ripsaw that we saw in the trailer. Perhaps that will be unmanned as well. So next we have laser weapon systems. Now I know what you're thinking, lasers sound way too futuristic for Battlefield, like something out of Star Wars, right? But these systems are actually in use today and are often used to take out small ordnance like landmines, incoming missiles, or UAVs by simply heating them up with the laser until they explode. So here is one mounted to a ship. This thing here is called the Laser Avenger and is made by Boeing, and there's even a handheld version. This thing looks just like an alien weapon straight out of Halo. This is the Personnel Halting and Stimulation Response, or phaser rifle. It's a non-lethal incapacitation device designed to temporarily blind or disorient targets with a laser beam, and is intended for situations where the aim is to disable a target rather than kill them. So maybe not that great for Battlefield, but I thought it was too cool to leave out of this video anyway. And finally, we have the Mile Maker, a bolt-action system first developed by a company called TrackPoint, capable of engaging targets accurately at 1,280 meters even while moving. And then you have Smart Bullets. Yes, these do actually exist, and this one is made by DARPA, and it's essentially a self-steering guided bullet with the ability to home in on targets and even change course in mid-air to compensate for target movement or changes in wind speed. Scary stuff. So those are all weapons, gadgets and vehicles that are either currently active or in development today. Whether these things would be a good idea for the Battlefield franchise, I'm not so sure. For example, those smart bullets, it sounds pretty cool, but it would basically take all the reward from sniping out of the game. Same thing with the unmanned drones. There's no real risk there if you aren't actually piloting the aircraft yourself. So I think if DICE do decide to implement some of these things, they're going to have to be careful about how they do it. Of course, if I know DICE, they simply take inspiration from real life stuff like this and then put their own spin on it, so maybe they can make it work. In any case, time will tell. I would love to hear your thoughts down below, guys. Do you think any of these could make it into Battlefield 2042? Or have you heard about any new military technology that I didn't cover in the video? Let me know down below. Leave a like if you enjoyed, subscribe for more Battlefield, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Cheers.